Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk some My Hero Academia theories. If you're looking for the chapter 221 impression video, it's been uploaded along with this video, so it should be on the channel. You can just look at it on the main channel page. Anyway, this time, no, we're looking specifically at a theory. We're going to be looking at some images from previous Hero Academia chapters and episodes. We're going to be talking about the big one of, is Izuku's doctor one for all's doctor? All for one's doctor, there we go. Yeah, are the doctors the same? Now, I've made a video about this like years ago that talked about this guy and his possible grandson. You could check that video out. I have a link in the description. Just go on there if you want to see like that bit of the part. But this time specifically, we're going to be talking about the information that's come out of chapter 221. And this video is going to be kind of a theory update video. We're going to talk about the things that we can tell from this chapter and also talk about the ideas that people currently have about what's going on and how bad this whole situation could actually be. So let's just start off with the original theory. Is All for One's doctor Izuku's doctor? At this point, for me, it's honestly like a 9 out of 10 certain chance. And here's why. There's a few things going on with this doctor. Okay. So we have a really nice image from chapter 221 that shows us half of his face. One thing that I want to point you to is look at his glasses. Those glasses have a little bit of a special design, kind of like cogwheels. When you look at the doctor in the original Hero Academia episode 1, look at his glasses. They also have that cogwheel type design. Great, that's one point of commonality. Another point. Look at his nose. He has a very squarish nose. So, okay, so that's another point kind of saying like, yeah, this is probably the doctor. Another one, and this has to do more with, I guess, age, but we see his little mustache. He still has the general style, but his mustache has become more frayed. That makes sense. Like after you see chapter 221, you can kind of tell this guy is kind of a mad scientist, right? Because why else would you have bodies in tubs? Anyway. Cool stuff. So those three qualities, the glasses, the nose, the hair, or the mustache, they all point to like the general features of Izuku's original doctor. Now you might be asking, Trip, why are you saying 9 out of 10? Why isn't it 10 out of 10 at this point? Well, you know, it's manga. There's always that possibility that the author's trying to fake us out. For instance, what if Izuku's doctor had, well, a twin who is a little bit crazier? You know, you just can never be too sure. But there is one part in the images that we got from chapter 221 that does kind of concern me. Check out this image that we have of the doctor. Look at the way he's sitting on his chair. Specifically, look at where his legs are reaching. And then look at this shot of the doctor when he was in front of Izuku and his mom. His legs are able to reach the floor properly. That one's kind of throwing me off. Now, there are legitimate explanations. I mean, it might have been just the passage of time. He's an old man. He could have gotten shorter. Or it could be an art error. Just a problem with the proportions. Because when you look at the doctor in this shot, his legs look like they're reaching closer to the ground as opposed to the original shot that I showed you. So there might be a bit of an art error going on there. Or it might just be the ravages of time. But that part is one of the parts that's just kind of throwing me off because that seems like a bit of a distinguishing factor. Now, I do want to say it's still possible that this is just ravages of time because we saw what happened to Inko over time. She just got shorter, she got stressed out. So it's not that weird to have a character degrading in this fashion. Anyway, the 1 out of 10 chance is just there to signify that there's still some doubt regarding this. But there's one more point I want to bring up to you guys. For it's specifically having to do with what half of the man's face was shown. We look at this shot and we can see that the author only showed the left side of his face. Why is that important? Well, when you look back at the doctor, if you look on the right side of his face, there's a little bit of a scuff mark on his head. Not only that, the scuff mark isn't just a little bit of an artist thing, it's actually on other shots of this man's head. In other words, the author went out of his way to put a identifying detail on this doctor, and that's the side of the face that the author didn't show. Now mind you, like I'm pretty like 9 out of 10 chance. I feel like this is very likely already. But once we get that other side of his face, we'll have a better idea. Is that actually the doctor? From my perspective, It doesn't make sense that the author gave him such a weird little detail to not have it capitalized, and it's even weirder that when the author does show a shot of this guy's face, he's missing the one side that has that detail. So 9 out of 10 chance. Honestly, it's a 9.5 out of 10. But that's just there for you guys to appreciate, like, the little details that the author puts into his characters and how he plays around with expectations later on. So for the rest of this video, we can assume, or we can just, we'll just take the assumption that, okay, this is the same person. Well, that's just a general assumption, and we'll move into the second thing that people have been talking about with this chapter. Now, there is another theory going around. This is part of the Izuku secret quirks line of theory family, and the conspiracy with the Doctor involves this idea that Izuku had his quirk stolen or taken from him by All For One with the aid of this Doctor. The theory aims to say that Izuku isn't part of the 20% that is quirkless, and that he is an artificial quirkless by the virtue of having his quirk stolen. I think it's a theory that just wants Izuku to have more power. Honestly, given things in the past, given where Izuku is in terms of quirk stockpiles, I really think this is still very unlikely. Like, I give it like a 2 out of 10 probability shot of this actually being true. When I read this thing, it just really sounds like hopeful thinking on the part of the fans who are doing it. And one of the big things that just kind of throws me off with this is that we have an x-ray of Izuku's foot. As far as I'm concerned, that joint that formed on Izuku's smallest toe, it doesn't form just because you have your quirk stolen. That's just something that's born into your DNA. The way I understand the genetics of Hero Academia just tells me that if someone has the full gene set that Izuku has or that a quirkless has, they're going to develop that bone, and that bone is not present in the quirk factor gene set. That's how I understand it. Now, there is possible that the photo that they showed us on the board is a fake photo, or sorry, a fake x-ray. That's always possible, but again, you know, that's another degree of complication that you have to add in there. And then there's a question of what quirk would All For One want to steal from Izuku, because they had low telekinesis and fire breathing, or was it a mutation? I don't know, but it's still kind of sketchy, and at this point I think it's just wishful thinking. But that's pretty much it for me. That's the kind of the updates that we're getting around here. Right now we're at a situation where it's pretty much guaranteed that this guy and the Doctor are the same person, and the whole Izuku having a quirk stolen, that theory is starting to gain steam just because of that commonality between, or just because of that link between the two parties. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, and until next time, I hope you have a great day. And if you're heading to the impressions video right after this, well, I'll see you there. Anyway, till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.